Because of the type of beings that we are, we have a lot of work to do to know thyself, to develop strength and knowledge about our weak points, our soft spots, to fortify them. There's a lot about us to know individually, about self, how we're made up, where we're vulnerable as a being, where we are weak as a being, and then any of that vulnerability and weakness within us personally. If we don't spend the first, I don't know what it would be, third of our lives? I don't know. I'm just grabbing a number, moving forward. We don't spend more than just age birth to 18 working on this stuff. We don't, in my opinion, have enough foundational understanding about what we are. We haven't done enough work to strengthen ourselves. We haven't done enough work to develop any level of self-mastery. Now, I recognize that will be something that we will all work towards. Should we ever endeavor to attain such a thing, that could take a lifetime for some of us for certain things. The society is designed, and it's been programming us up so that, they put all the poisons into the minds of kids that they do while they're developing and going through schools. Then they get out of schools, and if they did their job right, the parents that raise them really don't pay much attention to how this is all working. It's part of their bigger ultimate plan here. Then those young kids, full of hormones, sexuality, and a voracity for life, all that kind of stuff, the way come busting out of school, doing the friends thing, partying it up, having fun, as we all think and tell ourselves it should be. And to a degree, yeah, I get it. Totally get it. But in the world that we live in, considering the types of beings that we are, even though you think, and I think, and we say, well, kids need to be kids, I get it. But in another realm, in another world, or until we can change this one, we have an awful lot to do to learn about ourselves and do the work on ourselves so that we are not, the point of this is, so that we are not fodder for the evil writ throughout all of this world that we are born into. If the inevitability of our being here is that we are born into a world that is laden with evil, and evil will do all the things that it does to deceive us, manipulate us, lie to us, harm us, blah, 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 blah. If we know that as a foundation, then maybe we should look at how we're made, quite literally, how we're designed, and consider the aspects of the being that we are and where there are weaknesses and vulnerabilities in the inherent design. No, I'm not calling it a flaw in the design, although maybe you could. What I'm saying is being aware enough and intelligent enough to recognize, okay, this is how we're made. There are some inherent vulnerabilities in this part of us, and this part of us, and this part of us. So humans should probably, well, it only makes sense, do work to, learn about those aspects of us, and then strengthen them, firm them up, shore them up, create defenses, or, on top of strategies to protect any areas that you need to, a multifaceted approach, so that as we go out into the big bad world, we are prepared, we comprehend, we know ourselves, and, when some evil tries to come and manipulate us, it's not say nobody's ever going to be affected by evil because we know ourselves. No, we just are much more equipped to not be herded like cattle and manipulated so easily, lied to so easily, extracted from so easily, largely because we remain ignorant. And our minds have been conditioned because it's also easy for them because we see them as our authority. And then since we're ignorant, well, this just breeds on itself. So the power people, the malignancies in this world, as they have revealed themselves to be, keep feeding on our ignorance of, well, everything. Our ignorance of how the world works, our ignorance of how money works, our ignorance of ourselves. And they have created a world that allows us to feed all of these fleshly desires, our lower, more base level animalistic desires, and all that other kind of stuff, to entice us, keep our focus external, keep us focused on all the flashing lights and shiny objects and titties and scantily clad men and women and all that other kind of stuff, so that we never, ever, ever really arrive at an awareness unless you're wired like my ass and have gone through the fucking shit that I have, you kind of start figuring this shit out. Of, well, all the ways in which we are being attacked and manipulated. All these intangible aspects of mind, emotion, psychology, beliefs, perceptions, self-image, all this stuff. And we are unaware of the world we live in and how all these things are manipulating us. We don't even recognize to a large degree the mechanisms that are in this world that were built by men to manipulate these aspects of us, these things. And then we don't know enough about these aspects of ourselves to protect ourselves from the things that we don't see that are coming at us. Think about what I just said there. If we don't know enough about ourselves to know that we're weak, and then we don't understand that what's coming at us is designed to attack us, if we see it as entertainment, if we see it as something other than what it actually is, and then that is actually going after the aspects of ourselves that have always been weak and vulnerable, we're not even aware of that fact. We're so goddamn unconscious and unaware, we're not even aware that we're being attacked because, well, they're attacking our beliefs, they're attacking our perceptions, they are attacking the intangible aspects of the human being. If we remain so unaware of how they're doing what they're doing, and we remain unaware of the aspects of us that are weak, vulnerable, and all that other stuff, which are also the aspects of us that they are attacking, they are seeking to mold, influence, craft what we believe, perceive, think is real, true, and all that other stuff. Why would they put so much effort into doing that? Why would they care so much to put in that much effort? Could it be that there's something inside of us that they don't want us to tap into? Could it be that there's something inside of us that's so powerful, so potent, and so capable that they put forth so much effort, so much money, so much manpower, so many resources, etc., and then all the flashing lights and shiny objects to absolutely distract us from caring about that, knowledge of that, the pursuit of that, the interest of the pursuit of that, etc., 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 etc. Why else would they do what they do? If the way out of here is through that inward journey, if the way out of here is through this process of knowing thyself, or maybe it's not, maybe that's just one part of being a human, then the other part of finding your way out is doing that inner work and doing that inner journey. I mean, they all kind of tie together in certain ways. I think you could tie them together quite well. But they also are distracting us in such a way that, and then, filling our minds with all this stuff, nobody realizes how important the inner work is in the walk of the human being. That if you don't do the inner work, you remain damaged. And to the degree that you're damaged and that affects you and your psychology, the manifestation of your mind and emotions. And if you're in a psychology where you're constantly hurting people or an asshole to people or whatever it is that might be the negative manifestation, well, you're always going to be in that state until you become aware. They know this about us. They've knocked so many people off kilter through all the mechanisms of social engineering that have injected the traumas into our societies that have trickled down into the minds of the people who were, alive and aware during that, so to speak. And then they had kids, and all this stuff starts to bleed down into the families, starts to affect the minds of the parents, who then indoctrinate their kids with it. And it's just like, wow, round and round and round we go on the carnival ride, the wild and crazy show. And we're just thrust in here to experience whatever these assholes want to do for us? What do you think is inside of you that makes them put forth all of the effort that they put forth? To distract us, to entice us, to intoxicate us, to entertain us, to all that stuff. Why do you think they would do it? And when you think about that, all the Hollywood, all the entertainment, all the flashing lights, billions of dollars over years. It's probably closer to trillions of dollars, but I don't know. A lot of minds, a lot of manpower, man hours, thought, all this stuff to keep you entertained and distracted. To keep you occupied. Video games, Netflix, Facebook, movie stars, Hollywood, rock stars, rap stars, pop culture, Really? Huh. Seems like something's putting forth an awful lot of fucking effort. Oh, they control the school systems and the television and the media that's feeding our version of reality to us. Therefore, they're doing an awful lot. There's an awful lot of effort being put forth to ensure that you will never know yourself, so that you will never care, that all the things that they keep doing to attack the aspects of yourself that you're not even truly aware of in this context, they don't want you to be aware of that. They don't want you to do anything to strengthen that, to feed your mind, to feed your being. They don't want you to master your emotions because they play you like a puppet that way. They don't want you to master your mind because they can craft a version of reality for you. They don't want you to master your psychology so that you are a beacon of light in this fucking world. They don't want any of that for you. Why? Now, when you look at what it is that I've just said, and think of the amount of work that the human should be doing on themselves, from parents teaching their kids until they become teenagers and can start doing their own stuff. If we began indoctrinating our children with these types of things about how important it is for us to know ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, to find our vulnerabilities and weaknesses, etc., 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 we would be in a world full of, well, knowledgeable, reasonably intelligent, critically thinking people who were aware of themselves in all the ways they needed to be to have actually taken the time to strengthen their weaknesses, strengthen their vulnerabilities, or find a way to protect them so that they could exist in a world where, whether we like it or not, is full of evil. It is what it is. Unless we can find a way to cleanse the world of the evil, it's going to remain here. And if we did that, something would still find a way to probably inject some more into this little petri dish down here. I think the key to all of this stuff that's happening lies within all of us. The reasons that they can manipulate us is because we don't understand what they're doing. And we understand even less about ourselves. If we knew about ourselves, for instance, what it is that I'm trying to express here, what I know about the human and what they're doing, we could take active steps to prevent them from doing what they're doing. We could take active steps that would prevent them from socially engineering our cultures, changing human behavior, influencing and manipulating the herd. See, here's the thing. We're supposed to be an intelligent, sentient species that is capable of intelligence. No, we're supposed to be a sentient species capable of logic and reason and feeling and intuition and forethought and afterthought and self-awareness and all that other stuff. If that's what we are, if that's what we're capable of, the word herd should never be applicable here or towards us as a species. There should never be a herd mentality. We can have unification on certain things, unification on our morality and all that stuff, but never herd mind, never herd mentality, never a herd to be able to manipulate or influence, because we're all autonomous, individually, critically thinking human beings, seeking, to harm no one, to learn, to love, to grow, and to become better. Not all this evil shit, this horrible shit that this world's trying to drive us into. We could do a lot to prevent what's going on here without lifting a finger of violence, although that's then eventually going to be necessary because they're going to do it. But we could do so much to reverse what we see going on this planet if we took the fucking responsibility, first gained the awareness, then took the responsibility for knowing ourselves, doing the work on ourselves. It's necessary for all of us. None of us want to fucking do it. It's hard work. It's like lifting weights when you're a pipsqueak. You don't have any muscles. You got to lift. It's going to hurt. All that stuff. Ultimately, the hurt goes away. Ultimately, you start seeing gains. Ultimately, you turn into this like ripped dude. And you used to be the pencil neck pipsqueak. You had to put in the work to go from pencil neck pipsqueak to ripped and chiseled, whatever. Similar analogy for us as beings. There's nothing about our societies, our cultures, our religions, or any of that shit that pushes. Know yourself. Understand how you're made. Understand where you are weak as a being. Take steps to strengthen that. Understand where you are vulnerable. Develop strategies to protect yourself. If it's strengthening, great. If it's strategies and whatever, do what's necessary. Because if you do not, you are fodder for all of the wicked mother sons of guns in this world that know this stuff about you and have the means, the resources, and the intention of capitalizing on this aspect of you. I just want to know what's actually happening and why. But, it's real easy to conclude certain things, even as an awake, conscious being, and get them wrong. It's easy to conclude things and get it right and not know you're right, because something is also saw to it and sought to ensure that the information we have available to us in this world is all inverted and all that other shit. I don't know, maybe when we as human beings get to a point where we realize that all this stuff is inverted, it's all poison, it's all toxic, it's all that stuff, that we stop the pursuit of a lot of that shit and it kind of just turns us inward and start exploring that whole thing that we're told that, all the truth you'd ever need, all the answers you'll ever need are within yourself. Everything you ever could want and need is within yourself. That's what they say. who's they and why do they say it? I don't know. But on a lot of levels, I'm inclined to believe it. I'm inclined to say that kind of resonates, that there's probably something to it, especially when you really sit there and think about, look at how much effort they're putting into distracting us. They don't want us going in. They don't want us going in. They don't want us learning about this shit. And the fact that they don't, I think, should be evidenced by, meaning the fact that they don't want this for us, how much effort they put in to trying to prevent us from ever, you know what I mean? Look at this clown world. Look at this shit. Who wants to live in the world that we've been seeing for the last 2 years? Raise your hand. I'm kidding, but you get my point. Who wants to live in the world these assholes have planned for us? Who would, why, what, huh, who, what? They're creating it all. They're making it happen. They're the ones controlling perceptions. They're the one controlling minds. They're the ones manipulating and influencing all of this, creating it all. They're the ones paying the toxic people to do all the carnival show dancing and acting for you. They're the ones that have bought off all the politicians and corporations that are viable. They're the ones that have compromised all the politicians in any other way that they can compromise them, through their island journeys and things of that nature that get them all in compromised position. The whole world is compromised by these people. And everybody's working with them and for them, it seems, as far as the control structure on the planet. Does they live not reveal itself to be a little bit more true to form in reality? Truth in fiction, people. Truth in fiction. It's been beating us all upon the head. It's just everybody's, I get it. This is the way they built the societies. Everybody's in the mode of get up, go to work, pay your bills, pay your taxes, raise your kids. Get up, go to work, pay your bills, pay your taxes, raise your kids. And you kind of got to do that, especially when you have a family. You got to keep it all stable and blah, blah, blah. I get it. No arguing those points and the validity of them all. 110% get it. But look at the catch-22 that puts the average person in who's working their knuckles to the bone to have a great life, to keep a happy wife, to keep a happy child, keep a happy husband, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Learning about all this other shit, well, that kind of is a bit of a burden. And hey, if I learn about all this other shit, it might change my view. It might change things for me, and my stability could get challenged and the way I see the world, and that could affect my family. And there's a big barrier right there. And they know this. They capitalize on this shit. They've absolutely done that. And there's a myriad of other ways that they know people will prevent themselves from doing those swan dives into this level of understanding or higher levels of understanding. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to do a brief mind dump, a little longer than brief, but food for thought. I'm just in this very reflective mode right now, in that I'm writing a book and I'm doing a lot of deep reflecting on things as I'm developing the content of the book. And I was just sitting there kind of taking a break, and my mind latched onto a train of thought, and well, there it went. And here we are. So anyway, take it easy, people. Learn or be controlled. Educate yourself or be controlled. It's just the way it is. It's like this law of nature that says, learn and grow or die. It's just kind of the way it seems to work. It's like a natural law thing. I don't mean that literally, but maybe literally. It's this natural law thing. You will either learn and grow, or you will basically slowly deteriorate and die on some levels. If you start looking at it from a philosophical level, I think that really applies. They say that which is not in a state of growth is in a state of decay, which means it's in a state of dying, or on its way towards that. So that which does not seek to learn in this realm as a sentient being that's capable of intelligence and all these other things, that which does not seek to learn is, on a lot of levels, it could be argued, not seeking to grow. And if you're not seeking to grow, it could be argued that you're not seeking to grow beyond any boundaries or limitations that you're experiencing in life as a being now. Growth is essential for all life. And in this world, we're given all kinds of boundaries and limitations by things that we can't see. And, I guess there's some law here, or some kind of equation that says if you're not continuously learning and growing, well, these things are going to slowly degrade you to the point of dying. It's kind of weird when you think about it. But anyway, I've tried to end this a few times and I keep rambling on. So I will bid you
Farewell.